Hello, everybody. Welcome back for some more Fallout New Vegas. This is Courier 8 at your service as always. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with my camera right now. I look a little bit ghoulish this episode, so I apologize. But you don't come to the stream to see my face, as beautiful or as hideous as it may be. You are here for some gameplay. And speaking of gameplay, we have something incredible today. We are finally making it up the highway all the way into New Vegas proper. We have a few detours. Oh, hey, you guys. Oh, thank you, Nico. And hey, Mick, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you have the bandwidth to pop on in. And hey there, Eric. Good to have you as well. But yes, we are New Vegas bound. We are going to grab a new companion. Let's see. That means we'll have to say goodbye to our dear friend Boone. We'll pick him up again. I think for next week's stream, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install a mod that lets me have multiple followers instead of just the one. I know, poor Boone. We just met the poor guy. But I think you're going to like Veronica. She is stellar. But without further ado, let's go ahead and run over to New Vegas, shall we? Let's hit play. Oops. I have to grab OBS and throw it over into the other screen. That way I'll be able to read the chat. There we go. All right. Live gameplay. Here we go. Let me make sure I'm loading the right save instead of the test save that I made a little bit ago. And we're in. How's everyone's Wednesdays been treating them? Mine could have been a little bit better. I've been dealing with some bad nerve pain flare-ups today, and it sort of took me out of commission for most of the day. But it's okay. Stayed cozy in bed for a while, slept in a little bit too much. But I'm feeling pretty good. Even better now that you all are with me. Ooh. Alright, so for this campsite, we want to stick to the left. The only reason is there are some Mirelurk Kings on the shore to the right, which I believe is Lake Mead right there. Oh. Maybe Boone will help us take it? Ooh. Oh, no worries. I don't know what I was stressed about with Boone on our side. There we go. There's... Oh, Victor! Hello?
Fancy meeting you here, friend.
How did you get here?
Just rolling along on my spurs. Looks like I just might make it to New Vegas after all.
You see what happened in there?
Yep. This is just down to you and Fancy Pants. I wouldn't. He looks all hat and no cattle to me.
But he doesn't wear a hat. It's good? Question mark? To see you again, Victor?
Yep. This is getting mighty embarrassing. People gonna start to talk.
Ooh, I heard the Courier and Victor were a little bit closer than friends. He's such a gentleman. You know, when he's not doing sketchy courier hiring services, but you know. Did you see Benny come this way?
Fancy Pants? No, I ain't seen hiding a hair of him since the tussle in Good Springs. I'm sure he ran back to the soft living of New Vegas, though.
And indeed he did. See you later, Victor.
Look me up when you get to New Vegas. I'll buy the first round.
Aw, yeah. Party hard with Victor. Put that on our social calendars. But we are gonna move right along. Following the road. Up past Lake Mead and to Camp Golf. But yeah, some days you just gotta sleep in though. I've gotten so used to waking up at 6 o'clock most mornings actually, that when I woke up at 11 today I was like, that's 5 dead-ass hours of day that I am not going to see. But I guess my body needed it for sure. For whatever reason yesterday, I got the bright idea to wake up at 6 as usual, but also to start streaming pretty much immediately. And we finished Dark Souls 3. It was really cool to be able to do the fights in sort of like a made-for-VOD kind of way. And it was also just nice to be able to watch those replays afterwards. The last fight against Slave Knight Gale looked pretty clean from my part, not gonna lie. Oh. Ooh, haircut though. I'm excited to see pictures if you're intending to put them up. And I did beat Dark Souls 3. I beat the DLC first, and then I went ahead and did the final boss yesterday. It was a stellar game, I have to say. It was my first Dark Souls. I'm working on getting through Dark Souls 1 on the Switch, but I'm struggling just a little bit. I'm sure you're gonna look stellar, Mick. But I was just struggling a little bit with how kind of slow and clunky the combat feels at times. I guess I got super spoiled with Bloodborne, and I hear that Dark Souls 3 is a lot closer to that style of gameplay, so I was able to adapt to it pretty quickly. But yes, Camp Golf. It is an NCR outpost out on the former, or I guess what remains of a golf course and golf course resort that used to be here. Let's shoot the shit, shall we? Surely someone knows something about this place.
Howdy, great to see you.
Howdy, partner. Like your huge jaw. What do you think of Camp Golf?
Oh, it's a fine place. The lake is real pretty, and we don't get bothered much by them Legion fellers.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Seems like you got a story, oh Hanrahan. Hanrahan.
I was born on a farm out in California. Weren't much. Me, Ma, and Pa, my 2 sisters, and about 40 acres of corn and Brahmin.
Good down-home country boy.
Except for some lean years. Then I joined up and got shipped out here to New Vegas.
Can you tell me about your squad mates?
They're mostly pretty nice. Poindexter showed me how to make fireworks. Brass kind of scares me sometimes, but I don't mind. He's had a hard life.
And how did you end up in the army?
Well, as it turns out, we had a string of bad harvests a few years back. Pa said he couldn't afford to feed but 3 youngins or we'd starve. As the biggest one, it was my job to go join the army so as my sisters could eat, and so as we wouldn't all be killed by raiders, and Jesus would love us. It's alright, I guess. I don't like all the fighting we gotta do, though.
I guess it's good to hear that Jesus survived the apocalypse. But why are you so afraid of fighting?
I ain't scared. I just don't like hurting
Aw.
folks is all. Ma always used to tell me, boy, you're the biggest and the strongest, so you mind yourself.
I love
Every day she told me
him.
that. Guess I done took it to heart.
The Camp Golf himbo, I'd say. Good-natured fella. Like you, O Hanrahan. I'll talk to you later. Let's see his other squad mates, huh? What's the
We just go
sitch?
quietly. The Legion can count on that.
Ooh, like your style,
Come on,
bud.
Holmes.
What you want, Holmes? Oh, I like your style already. What's your story?
Ain't much to tell. Grew up out west in the Boneyard. Heard of it?
Boneyard is the wreckage of LA. That was one of the environments in Fallout 1.
Joined up to get out. My family's still back there.
Know anything about your squad mates?
We don't talk too much, mostly. Poindexter's a smart-ass prick. While Hanrahan's a big pussy, ain't good for shit in a fight. And Mags? Well, Mags is cut out for something other than soldiering. Dig?
Never mind, buddy. I actually don't like your style too much. Sounds like a bunch of winners.
Whatever. Not like I need any of them. I do just fine on my own.
He's gonna 1v1 the Legion. Just charge on in. So, why are you in the army?
Shit, honey, it was this or the Fiends. The Fiends don't last too long in the NCR. At least this way, the badasses with the top shelf guns are on my side.
What a prince. Can you tell me anything about Camp Golf?
What do you want to know? Whole place used to be some kind of rich bastard resort back before the war. Now the Rangers use the old resort and we grunts get to live in tents. Fucking typical.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, see you later, Raz.
Right.
And bold of him to say that, talk that shit with Mags with her directly in earshot, but hello.
Glad to see you haven't gotten yourself killed yet.
Why'd you join the army? I'm just asking everyone their life story today.
I guess I wanted to make something of myself, you know? Be the best of the best. I wanted to be a ranger, but guess this is as close as I get.
How do you end up assigned to Camp Golf?
Easy. This is where they send all the fuck-ups and people they don't
Ah.
like. But hey, it's not like I'm bitter or anything.
The truth comes out. Sounds like you aren't too fond of your squad mates.
Yeah. I mean, no. They're okay people, but they don't care, you know? They don't have any ambition, no drive. They're slacking off, and that reflects badly on me.
This place doesn't seem so bad.
Please. Camp Golf is where they shuffle off anybody they don't want anymore. Assignment here is a career ender.
So, you probably sort of teased this out already, but there's a side quest here. And it mostly involves sort of stepping in 80s movie team coach style and getting this ragtag team of rough edges and getting them to win playoffs. She kind of looks like Brianna Tarth, Jackie. I could see it. So tell me a little about yourself, Mags.
Not much to tell, really. I grew up in New Reno, joined up, took my shot at being a ranger, didn't make it, so I'm stuck with this crew of jokers.
Welp, how come you didn't get into the Rangers?
Gee, I don't know. Maybe because I'm saddled with the worst damn unit in the NCR Army. Think that might have something to do with it?
You missed the opportunity to say NC Army. Why doesn't more people say that? Goodbye.
Sure. See you around.
So I'm talking to the gang, and I think that's Poindexter and the glasses over there on the right.
I'm assuming you aren't associated with the Army or the Rangers. What can I do for you?
Hello, Liam O'Brien. I see you're splitting the difference between Caleb Widogast and Grimoire Weiss with this character, huh? Are you in charge around here?
In a strictly official capacity, no. However, as I am by far the most intelligent and resourceful figure on this base, I feel it's safe to say the soldiers here look up to me.
So, that's a no, then.
I suppose if you must stick with your narrow, parochial view of in charge, then yes, it's a no. Are we done?
Tell me about yourself.
To what purpose? It's highly unlikely you'd understand anything I'd say.
Buddy, I speak English.
Suffice to say, I'm a certified genius, and when I'm discharged from this pit of testosterone and failure, I'll have all the money I could ever need.
How'd a guy like you end up in the army?
It's a simple idea. The Army offers fiscal security and generous benefits at the cost of substantial personal risk, if you're on the front line. If you perform too poorly, they'll scrub you out. Perform too well, and you get sent to the front lines. All I have to do is ride that mediocrity gradient to a cushy, do-nothing job miles away from the war.
Hey, respect. Gotta respect the hustle. And yeah, must be pretty hard to find a pair of glasses. Although maybe it's not quite as hard out in the NCR. They never show what the NCR territory looks like at this point, but from what it sounds, I'd place it roughly at like 1800s levels of civilization building. I think they have roads, maybe even a couple of working cars. I know they have trains. They're actually trying to build the railway line out this far into Vegas from, I think the NCR railway station is the hub, but I'm not too sure on that. But yeah, basically New Vegas is out in sort of the frontier, as it were, which is why it's a little bit more rough and rugged. Hey there, Michi. Thanks for joining us, by the way. And, New Vegas is so good.
I somehow suspect you'll be back to converse with me later.
You suspect correct there, buddy. I mean, I have to finish the side quest somehow now. I'm not sure how to start it, though. Let's start with the big tent over here. But yeah, one of the things I really enjoy about Fallout New Vegas' setting is it feels like time has moved on. Like, society isn't just stuck in one, like, post-apocalyptic, completely ruined, Mad Max-style moment forever. You know, society eventually starts to get rebuilt. And I feel like New Vegas is sort of like happily in the crossroads of that, being a less settled area. Hey, Sergeant McCready.
Oh, hell. What is it now?
How'd you end up at Camp Gulf, buddy?
I've been here since the first push into Vegas. Back in the day, this camp was the hotspot for conflicts with the Legion, Raider tribes, you name it. These days, I spend most of my time trying to beat a little discipline into the soldiers under my command. Gotten soft with no action.
Sorry about that. Gotta hydrate. So, what do you do now that the fighting's died down?
Mostly drill the troops, try to keep the discipline up and combat readiness high. It's not the easiest job in the world. Soldiers without a mission get bored very easily.
What, they don't like the
Still,
Gulf?
with the Legion just across the river, we have to be ready.
Sounds like you're a little disappointed in your troops.
Disappointed? We call them the misfits for a reason. They're undisciplined, lazy, and they have absolutely no esprit de corps. The squad leader's got some promise, kid named Mags. But as for the rest, I don't see much hope. I'm going to make them shape up if it kills me, though. Or them, for that matter.
What if I tried to be their cool substitute teacher? You know, their Jack Black music teacher, if you will? Maybe I can help whip them into shape.
You're welcome to try. Hell, maybe they'll listen to somebody they don't see as an authority figure.
See you later. Now we officially have the quest Flags of Our Foul-Ups.
Hey,
No, I gotta reach these kids, Mick. Alright. Pretend I'm sitting down, backwards in a chair. Hey there, O'Hanrahan.
Howdy, great to see you.
Sergeant McCready asked me to talk to you about getting your squad in shape.
To me? I'll tell you what I think this squad needs. A little more basic human niceness.
You tell him. What do you... I could be very mean, but I don't think I will.
Folks just don't talk to other folks. And everybody's always cross with each other.
Why can't everyone just get along?
That'd be swell. Only if they knew the idea came from me, they probably wouldn't take you serious no more. So maybe you ought to think about it first. And I sure hope you're more convincing than I am, or they ain't gonna listen.
On second thought, I'll ask around first.
Whatever you think's best.
So, as you can probably tell, that's what the military needs. Just kindness. Hey, if we chat to Caesar's Legion, who knows? Maybe we will forge a consensus. And as you can probably tell, each of the different squad members has a different plan for how exactly to improve the fortunes of the Misfits. How about you, Poindexter?
You've done an excellent job ingratiating yourself to the top brass. I assume this is some sort of stratagem?
Yeah, it's called get some easy XP stratagem, buddy. Gotta get those free levels somehow, huh? So Sergeant McCready asked me to talk to you about getting your squad in shape.
That seems highly illogical. What reason would he have for doing that?
You kinda suck, guys. But also he thinks that you might respond better to someone who isn't an authority figure, who can relate to you as youths. He's even worse. He's just a nerd.
This is an unexpected variable. I had hoped to coast on an easy wave of mediocrity to a cushy government pension.
Guess you don't feel so smart now, huh, Mr. Glasses?
Your insults are both unhelpful and unwanted. I'll thank you to keep them to yourself.
Keep my stupid comments in my pockets.
I somehow suspect you'll be back to converse with me later.
So Poindexter's solution is don't do the side quest. Well, at least it's good to see that I'm reaching the amount of Twitch fame where I get bots in my chat, so welcome aboard.
Legion can count on that.
Stop.
Won't go quietly. Legion can count on that.
Stop saying generic NCR guard dialogue, Raz. You're stressing me out. Hey, Mags.
Glad to see you haven't gotten yourself killed yet.
Sergeant McCready asked me to talk to you about getting your squad in shape.
He did, huh? Well, good luck with that. You'd have an easier time teaching rad roaches to march in formation.
Can't be as hard as all that. What needs to get done?
Well, if you ask me, what we really need is to get this whole squad out on the practice range. Shape up our marksmanship and explosive skill. I'm sure the others have their own ideas, though.
Never mind. I'll talk to the others about their ideas first.
Okay, I'll be here if you come to your senses.
So, if I remember correctly, the two plans that actually work are Mag's plan to just improve their combat readiness, and if you have high enough shooting and explosives, that should be the way to go. Oh, whoops, I haven't talked to Raz yet.
Wish I'd. What you want, Holmes?
Yeah, Sergeant McCready, blah, blah, blah. How do I reach these kids?
Yo, I'll tell you what this squad needs. A healthy dose of angry juice.
Angry juice?
Psycho, the big red one. I used to run with the fiends. I still got the hookups. Smuggle some in and you'll see an improvement.
On second thought, let's not go with Operation Give Them Drugs as our first plan, at least.
Whatever.
Hardcore drugs, bro. You get us some crack cocaine and we're gonna do great out there. Let's see. But yeah, O'Hanrahan's plan, I think, actually works if you have high enough speech, which I think we might. You know, if I'm wrong, the worst thing that happens is the NCR is less ready for the Battle of Hoover Dam, which is a fight I'm not looking to let them win, so, you know. You know, kids come running for the great taste of Coke. You might be onto something. Alright, O'Hanrahan.
See you.
Let's
Does that mean you're gonna
help everyone get along.
Okay.
We are going with Operation Buddy Buddy.
Toodaloo.
Alright, Poindexter.
You've done an excellent job ingratiating yourself to the top brass. I assume this...
Get ready for the Care Bear stare. Wait. There we go. Since you're so respected, maybe you can help get this unit into shape.
You're trying to appeal to my ego. I must admit it's an effective tactic. All right, I'll help. But only because I want to see if it's even possible.
Mr. Flattery will get you everywhere. And yes, Operation Group Hug commence.
Converse with me later.
Nah, that's probably the last time, Poindexter. Take a bow. You're done here. Mags.
Glad to see you haven't gotten yourself killed yet.
Give me the rest of the day. But let's see. Tell me a little about yourself.
Not much to tell, really. I grew up in New Reno, joined up, took my shot at being a ranger, didn't make it, so I'm stuck with this crew of jokers.
God, the dialogue for New Vegas is just on point. I feel like in a very similar way to Disco Elysium, I don't think there's a miscellaneous line of dialogue in the whole game. Except for canned NPC dialogue, but that's not the stuff of major conversations. This place doesn't seem so bad.
Please.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to find where her dialogue option is in the conversation tree.
Yeah. I mean, no. They're slacking off.
Well, maybe if you tried to lead by example instead of tearing them down.
You really think so? Hell, I guess it's worth a shot. Sure. See you around.
You know, You can't just flame your teammates when you're not doing well in online games.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. Speech is... I love how useful speech is as a stat, and you get a lot of great conversations, but I also really love how in Fallout New Vegas, you're not forced to make every single check with speech. I love that there's medicine tests, or medicine dialogue choices, there's guns dialogue choices. I think a really inspired use of guns in dialogue is using your knowledge of firearms to get a ballistics read on a crime scene, which I thought was really cool. Let's talk to Raz, though.
What you want, Holmes?
I want you to give friendship a chance. Know anything about your squad mates?
Point out. I'll hand hands him.
Oh, that's charming. It's good to know that team building's alive and well.
Shit, maybe you're right. Guess I ought to give him a shot.
You just sass him, and he's like, "Aw, I've been mean. Maybe I should be friends."
Right.
I've changed his entire worldview with a really weak line of snark, but I will take it. And I think that's everyone. So let's see if that completes the quest. Let's go back to Sergeant McCready. Oh,
We won't go quietly. The Legion can count on that.
so what do you have to say, buddy?
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Yeah, the line.
I wish I had a first recon guy looking after me.
Boone? He's aight. Speaking of which, buddy, how are you doing?
What is it?
Being amongst all these NCR kiddos. Oh, are you an outlaw now?
No. People die out there. Often enough that no one worries about blame. They're too anxious to forget it happened in the first place, I guess. Besides, I was on break when it happened.
Ah, the good old I was on break alibi. Gets him every time. We were on a break. Tell me a little about yourself, Boone.
If you want. It's not really my thing. What do you want to know?
Let's see. Ever take that beret off?
No.
Let's talk about something else. I had some questions I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Does the name Benny mean anything to you?
No. It doesn't.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
We will break through your cold, behatted exterior one day, Boone. And you and I are going to be friends. We're slowly but surely, we're breaking him out of his shell. You and me, Boone, we're going to be best buds. Let's see. I guess it's nighttime, so let's skip forward in time about 12 hours as I stand in the middle of Camp Golf staring out into space. And see if good old Sergeant McCready is back in his tent.
Wish I had a first recon guy looking after me.
Everyone keeps saying that.
What can I do for you?
Oh, sorry. So let's see what the quest log says. What do we need to do still? Oh, return to O'Hanrahan. Okay. O'Hanrahan, come out and play. How about in here? Ha! All right, chat. won't say anything if you don't. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta have those weapon repair kits. Yellow.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
That's 2. Let's keep a counter, everybody.
Morning.
Oh, Hanrahan. Whose tent is this? I do like how they have a little golf flag, though. Really ties the room together. A whole power fist. Yoink. Hey, if they're gonna leave all of these goodies just lying around, then who am I to look a gift horse in the mouth? I don't know why I have a feeling that there was a sunset star in here. I don't think there is. But I usually get suspicious when there's just random bottles of sunset sarsaparilla scattered around an area. Have you seen O'Hanrahan, buddy? Oh, there you are.
Howdy, great to see you.
How's that human niceness working out?
Boy, the squad sure is working together a lot better now. I think we're gonna be A-okay.
Good to hear. And that is our quest complete. We just told everyone to climb on into the get-along sweater, and maybe we taught them just a little bit about the meaning of friendship. And with that, we are going to say goodbye to Camp Golf. I could... Wait. Sorry. I was just hit with a lightning bolt realization that the Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle caps are coming from inside of Camp Golf. So we're just going to run in and snag that really quick. And yes, Fallout New Vegas, friendship really is magic. I don't know, I think that the Misfits really did become 20% cooler today. Where's the dang entrance to this place? Here we go. On our way on in. Is it stealing to help ourselves to the vending machines? I guess, technically speaking, yes.
Hey, trolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Give it up for number 3! Yeah, over here in Camp Golf, we have a framed photo of Mr. House, a pre-war industrialist, business tycoon, general savant, and the president of Robco, actually, the company that created the Pip-Boy. Basically, you know, Fallout Andrew Ryan. And right behind him, you'll see the little legs of Liberty Prime from Fallout 3. Apparently also a Robco product originally. And there's stuff we are going to shamelessly steal from the NCR. Oh no! Sorry, I am moving my webcam because it is right over the stealth detector. Ah, Liberty Prime. Well, there's your problem, NCR. All of your ammunition boxes are just empty. You know, you see, the way I see it, we are just taking our consulting fee for helping out the Misfits. We didn't really get any quest rewards for that one besides, you know, free XP, which I'll take any day. Let's see, scrap electronics, here they are. 1, 2. Wonder glue, fixing things. I guess this guy's really into, like, cars, I guess. Really ambitious considering that there are no functioning cars in the entire map of the game, but let's not keep the dream dead for some people. Let's help them keep the dream alive. And in one of these rooms... just taking a tour. Nice facility you guys got here. Oop. Is this it? Regular. An unlootable safe. And I oop. You know, I don't care about my karma game. So you can stop. Oh. Someone was having a party in here. Drugs. Surgical tubing for drugs. And even more drugs. You know, I'm just really doing this guy a favor here. He's gotta get clean. He's gotta turn his life around. Oh my god, that's like 8 empty syringes of Med-X. Well, I guess he does have some fixer. Which I will take. Oh my god, buddy. You live like this? You know, we did our good deed for the day. Empty whiskey bottles. Science kit. You know, I just really got into like home brewing over the summer. Like, it's not that hard to do, bro. Thinking about designing my own beer label too. On your left. Come on, we're wasting daylight. Give me the star bottle cap. I'm running through this place like a man possessed. Ooh, lots of bobby pins. You can't say no to bobby pins. Oh, training dummy. Hup. Surgical kit in the bathtub. You know, I'm not going to try and figure out what that's implying. Room full of radios? 'Cause of course there is. If only we could take the hula bobblehead. But there are dreams that just cannot be. Here we go! Sunset Sarsaparilla Star Bottle Cap! In this Sunset Sarsaparilla Fiend's room. Alongside a locksmith's reader. Oh, and some magazines. Is there 2 in here or just the 1? Yeah, 2! Then we'll take the sexy sleepwear. Hello. You know, how sexy are we talking here?
Hello.
You know, that neck seam. Maybe we weren't meant to see much of the skin of these character models. There we go.
We can monitor ranger activity all through the region.
You know, the beret really does complete that look, though. It kind of ties everything together. So I ain't gonna be too hard on it. Whoop! Glad I did not shatter my kneecaps. We'll just drink a Sunset Sarsaparilla for healing. Oh, God. Cazadores. Ugh. Here. We are just going to go the complete opposite direction of those guys for our own continued well-being. there will come a day where I can feel confident in taking those bad boys on, but it is not today. We are still very baby, and they are very scary. Fun facts, they are actually based on the real-life animal, the tarantula hawk, which looks exactly like a cazador, but about 10 times smaller, thank goodness. But their sting is said to be literally the most painful thing that can happen to a human being. I don't know how scientists objectively manage pain, but there is a kind of pain scale. And I think the tarantula hawk sting, golden geckos, is right on the top of that list. Whoop. Yeah, at least with death claws, they're fast, but they're big and kind of easy to hit. Boone, save me. Oh, Boone! He's unconscious. I can see his parachute. He's okay. Holy moly. Well, nothing like some combat to get the blood pumping.
Figures.
Walk it off, Boone. You're okay. But if I remember correctly, a bunch of geckos next to a truck means that that is Vault 34 right over here. I'm going to discover the location and we will come back here because it has way more radiation than I want to deal with right now. And besides, we didn't come here to go through random dungeons tonight. We are here to make it to New Vegas proper. So let's continue on down the road. But speaking of little detours we're going to make, we're going to wind our way through these mountains to get back to the I-51 trading post, I believe. Or we're going to make some friends. Don't make me kill the puppos, New Vegas. Please? We're just going to go this way. I wonder if anyone's modded being able to pet dogs into New Vegas. I feel like that's really the last thing it's missing. That and a fishing minigame. Are we gonna get blocked by this stupid pipe forever? Nope. There we go. Oh boy. Is that Bighorner okay? He is vibrating into the nth dimension. There we are. That overpass is a sign that we're on the right track. Good job, team. You know, as desolate as the Mojave can feel at times, I also feel like there's never too long of a walk between important locations. Like, even just the highway up to New Vegas is full of stuff to do and to see on the road. Are you a merchant?
Howdy.
Oh, you're a prospector. See you later, partner. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. I found love is hanging out with Boone and my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. Howdy.
Watch yourself if you're heading further south. There's been trouble down by Nelson and Searchlight.
2 locations that you can also go check out, full of side quests for the NCR. It's nice that even like some incidental dialogue from NPCs points you in the quest or points you in the direction of good quests. But we are not here for any of these guys. We're here for you.
No offense, but you look like you've traveled a long way down some bad roads. Where'd you come from?
The grave.
Huh. Well, in that case, I take it back. You look pretty good, given the circumstances.
I was gonna
Well,
say,
welcome
if
then.
you can't tell, that is Felicia Day providing the voice of Veronica. You left a hole in the ground?
Well, a bunker, if you want to get technical. I think it sounds more interesting my way.
Yeah, we all read The Hobbit, Veronica.
I'm usually out here picking up food and supplies for my family. Whatever they need.
Twinkies, Oreos, some fruit gushers, whatever they need. So you just leave your family in the bunker?
Yeah, I'm not worried. They can handle themselves. But somebody has to get the groceries, know what I mean? And actually these days, I think they'd rather have me out here
Oh.
anyway. But that's a whole other story. So listen, can I ask you something on the level?
I mean, we just met, but sure, go ahead.
I had a run-in with this group calling themselves the Brotherhood of Steel.
Whatever they need, Mick. Even double stuffed Oreos. And oh, Brotherhood of Steel? What do I know about the Brotherhood of Steel? Well, if I have an intelligence of 6, which I do, I know that they're usually harmless unless you use advanced technology around them.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem for me. I can't afford anything like that.
Wink.
So, where are you headed anyway?
We are headed. Gonna see an old friend.
This is quite a journey you're going on then. Must be an interesting relationship to have brought you all this way. I'll be honest.
You know,
you're the
what do
first
you
person
call a
I've met out here that
relationship
looks like
where
you
the
really
only
know
time you
yourself.
met the other person
There are
shot you in the
places I've
head?
never been to
Is
that are
that
too dangerous
enemies?
for just me.
Enemies to
Maybe we could
lovers,
travel
maybe?
together, help each other out.
But yeah, sorry I keep talking over Veronica's dialogue. But she is offering to be a companion, and you know, I can't say no to that face. Where are you hoping to go?
Oh, nowhere in particular, really. Just hoping to see more of the world. Looking for
Call that a
friendship with
sexy
captives. I want to
nemesis.
see how different groups have adapted to survive in the Mojave. See if there's something I can learn from.
Yeah. Let's see. Don't you have a family to feed?
Like I said, they can handle themselves. And I'm not the only one getting supplies for them. It's a big family.
Wink. Do I have to belittle her? Really? Fine game, you don't look like much. What are you bringing to the table?
Good. That's the look I was going for. Trust me on this one, though. You'll be glad you brought me along. If I turn out to be a burden, we can part ways at any time. No hard feelings.
Sounds good. Oh, I see. I'd like to, but I can't take you with me right now.
Aw, you really know how to make a girl feel like a stray cat. But, okay, my offer stands. If we run into each other again.
You know, Boone, it's been real fun, buddy.
What is it?
It's not you. It's me, Boone. I think we should part ways for now. We'll be back for you, buddy.
If that's what you think.
Yeah, that's what I think. You should head back home.
Alright. Guess I'll be around Novak for a while longer until I figure out what I want to do with myself. See you around.
Don't you see I don't want you anymore, Boone? Get gone! Go on, you filthy animal! Okay. Veronica,
Didn't get enough
hello.
of talking to me the first time, huh?
I'm ready to travel with you.
Good. I'd hoped you'd come around. Shall we?
Let's go.
Now you're talking. One thing you should know first, though. I asked you about the Brotherhood because I'm one of them.
Oh,
I know, but I had to know how you react when I told you. We have made a lot of enemies.
just
Still
a
okay being alone?
bit, but you know, as long as you're honest with me from now on.
Sure, just don't ever ask me if your outfit makes you look fat. Well, thanks for taking a chance on a naive young girl from California with stars in her eyes and a pneumatic gauntlet on her hand. Let's hit the road, huh?
Yeah. As you can probably guess, Veronica's main combat skill is punching. She is the unarmed companion of the game, and she wears a power fist, a mechanical pneumatic gauntlet to get that punching done. I also don't know if she'll reveal it to you just off the bat in conversation, but she is also one of the 2 canonically gay companions in the game. It is her and Arcade Gannon is the other one. And this was back in 2010, so you weren't seeing too much queer rep in games on this kind of level. Really cool, actually. Tell me about yourself.
I like long walks in the desert and candlelit metal workshops.
What are your goals?
I want a dress.
A dress?
Yeah, a good one. Something elegant and classy, you know? But still stylish. Something that's eye-catching and sexy, but also says, don't fuck with me.
Oh, yeah.
I keep hoping I'll come across some old-world designer gown when I'm scavenging, but it never happens. Maybe I should move back to California.
We're gonna find you the nicest dress in the wasteland, Veronica. This I vow. Tell me something else about you, though.
Can I make it up?
Do you have any other family in the Brotherhood?
Just my parents, but they haven't been around for a long time. Dad was a paladin, Mom was a scribe. They died in the same battle, trying to hold off the NCR from something. I don't remember what it was. Guess it seemed important at the time.
Yeah, kind of came out of some of the lore that we got in Helios 1, but the NCR and the Brotherhood of Steel were at war for a while. Back a couple of years ago, I think, before the game started. I think it really just came down to the fact that the NCR wanted to use technology that the Brotherhood felt was beyond their level of responsibility. But the Brotherhood is just a group of, like, maybe a handful of people in power armor, and the NCR is a full country, so even if they didn't have the technological know-how, they just didn't have the numbers. And now they're even more of a shell than they used to be.
Like what?
Anywho, have you ever been in love?
Ever been nosy?
All the time.
I was, once. We were pretty young, but I like to think it was love.
What happened?
She left the Brotherhood. Wanted to put some distance between herself and her parents. Since our membership isn't open to outsiders, some members think that obligates all of us to procreate. You can guess which camp her parents belong to.
The Brotherhood of Steel did not say gay rights, let it be known. You didn't go with her?
No. Couldn't bring myself to leave everyone else behind. Couldn't convince her to stay either. I'd hoped love would be enough to influence her decision, but it wasn't. We were both too stubborn. I don't know where she is now, but I'm sure she's moved on. I still think about her, though. Once in a while.
Fun fact, though, we actually will run into her ex-girlfriend. A lot later on down the line, but we will. But I want to discuss other things.
Ooh, got any juicy gossip?
Yeah, the hot goss is... goodbye.
See you around.
But yeah, as you can probably gather, every companion sort of has something that they're looking for out here. Boone was looking to fight the Legion. Veronica is looking for advanced pre-war technology or other examples of societies becoming self-sufficient in the wasteland. And as you meet people or do quests that meet these criteria, your companions will open up to you a little bit more. Eventually, you'll get their companion-specific side quests, and the stories in those are really good. And also keep in mind that Veronica wants a dress, because that's something we can accomplish in this game. It's not just idle dialogue. But now I think we've checked off all of our boxes of things we needed to do before heading into New Vegas. So let us turn our attention to the imposing monument that is the Lucky 38 Hotel and Casino. And let's make our way down to the Strip, shall we? While I'm playing tour guide, to your left is Camp McCarran, the NCR stronghold in the Mojave Wasteland. Camp McCarran, as you can probably guess, is based in the ruins of the real-life McCarran Airport. So if you're familiar with flying in and out of Vegas, then you're very familiar with where the NCR has set up shop. And we start seeing billboards, actually, for the various hotels and casinos on the Strip. We have the Silver Rush, which is actually less hotel and casino nowadays, and more the one-stop shop for energy weapons in New Vegas. Oh, if we're coming down the highway that way, we'll get an advertisement for the RepCon HQ Museum, actually. And that's different than the RepCon HQ that we went to for Come Fly With Me. It's its own unique area with a pretty compact little quest line and a unique plasma rifle that you can get too. And yeah, it's really cool. It actually was really cool. I've been to Vegas once. And even in that small time when I was just able to be like in and around Nevada, so much of the city and the sort of surrounding state felt instantly recognizable. The folks from New Vegas really did their work in building as many of the smaller locations around the area into the game as possible, which is pretty darn neat. Yeah, over here we have a trading outpost with some more casino billboards. Holster your weapon at Gomorrah. And our first point of call is over to the Tops Hotel and Casino, where we've learned that Benny likes to hang up his hat. They're run by the chairman, a group of folks who, you know, dress like 50s lounge singers. It's like, what if we had a whole wasteland gang of Frank Sinatras? And you know, someone would probably be thinking, why are they dressed like that now? I mean, it's like 2281. I mean, it has to be dated just a little bit, right? And you'd be correct. There is a very salient reason why the casinos of New Vegas are sort of being ran as if time hasn't passed. And we'll get to that later. I don't want to give away anything too quickly. But yeah, thanks everyone for bearing with my commentary today. I've just sort of been in the combination headache, sore throat city lately, so I can definitely tell I'm just a little bit off my game. So thanks for bearing with me. And you know, Mick, you're right. Every fashion does come around. Maybe just 1950s are really in. Maybe we're just seeing a, 350-year nostalgia cycle. Ooh, and that lovely poorly rendered box, I believe. No, not that poorly rendered box, but the one to its right is the Gunrunners HQ. We're gonna make our way over there. What's up, buddy?
Hello. I don't handle buying and selling for the Gunrunners. Talk to the robot in the kiosk near our factory.
So you work for the Gunrunners?
For around 5 years now. I handle the supply end of things, raw materials and stuff.
Who are the Gunrunners anyways?
Makers of the finest high-grade weapons and ammunition in the wasteland. You ever get your hands on a piece of sweet, deadly hardware? There's a good chance that it came from one of our factories.
Oop, sorry, got a pop-up. which is a good opportunity to look at chat really quick. And yeah, vintage, but also the future seems to be a trend in Fallout games. But I feel like the way that Bethesda does it, it does it in a sort of unthinking kind of way. Like, things are exactly the way they were in the pre-war society is because vintage, but post-apocalyptic is Fallout's aesthetic, so to speak. Of course it would be like that. But New Vegas really takes a thoughtful look at why places are styled the way they are styled, which I think is really neat. Yeah, goodbye.
Later.
But yeah, the cool thing about the Gunrunners is they are one of the few industrial concerns still working in the wasteland. And also, they are a fully worker-owned cooperative. Everyone in the Gunrunners splits the profits completely evenly, and I think that's really cool.
Hey.
Welcome, sir or madam. Do you wish to purchase something?
And the thing about this Vendatron right here is he is one of 2 NPCs in the entire game that is actually unkillable. The thing about Vendatron is he is locked in a completely bulletproof box. There is no way to get in. There is no way to affect him in any way. And the only reason why they do that is to make sure that you have at least one vendor left in the game if you kill literally everyone else. And yeah, absolutely. There was sort of like a cultural stagnation, I think, in the Fallout universe. A lot of people cite that the point of Divergence is that the microchip was never invented. So technology proceeded down the course with vacuum tubes instead. But like, the tension between the pre-war and post-war societies, I feel, are particularly interesting in New Vegas. New Vegas is very much concerned with how societies build themselves and what old world traditions are taken and which are thrown out. Yeah, how did you get inside there, buddy?
This kiosk was specially constructed around me to deter theft and assault.
Yep, they literally built a bulletproof box around the robot with no doors, or, well, I guess one window, but it's bulletproof glass.
Come back.
But yeah, we will dump our hard-earned caps on the Gunrunners later on. Not immediately, though. Oh, and before we dive into the strip itself, now, if you remember back from the first episode, our buddy Ringo said that if we ever made it out to the Crimson Caravan HQ in New Vegas, we should hit him up for the other half of our payment. And let's do that. There you are, Ringo,
Hey there.
buddy.
Here's the rest of the payment I promised you back in Good Springs.
So what's next for you, buddy? It's so cool that a guy from the very first quest has more stuff for you way later on at the end of Act 1. So what's next for you, Ringo, buddy old pal?
I'm getting ready to run a caravan up towards Utah. There's a town called New Canaan, which is supposed to be pretty prosperous. The Crimson Caravan doesn't have any branches out that way, so it'll be up to me to get things started.
Good luck and Godspeed, sir.
I'll see you around.
And that little bit about a community up in New Canaan, out Utah way, that was actually foreshadowing for the game's second DLC, which we will get to eventually. But there's a lot of references to what will be the arcs of entire DLCs, just scattered around the base game. It's really impeccable how not only they planned the DLC out story-wise, but every DLC comes back together to form another mythic arc in a very similar way that the base game story does, which I think is just really cool. Now, there are some more side quests you can do in the Crimson Caravan HQ, and indeed, proceeding here is the only way to get Cass as a companion. But for now, I think there's no better time to check out Vegas than when the sun is down and the neon lights are shining. So cool. Now, I'm going to be moving quickly through some areas. But the thing about Freeside is there are so many side quests in this little town on the outskirts of the Vegas Strip proper. We're going to spend... we're going to spend a lot of time getting mugged by guys with sledgehammers. Go, Veronica. Give him the right hook.
Come on.
Let's see it. Yeah! Go team! Ha! But yeah, Freeside is a little bit of a slum, just a bit. Go, go, go!
It can be bought. It can be found at Mick and Ralph's.
Yeah, the Mick and Ralph's boy!
Mick and Ralph's for all your shopping needs.
Get used to his voice, cause he will never stop talking. And since this is one of the most highly trafficked areas in the sort of Freeside side quest scene, get used to Mick and Ralph's. Yeah, she punched his head off. Veronica's hardcore. But yeah, over here we have the Old Las Vegas Mormon State Historic Park, which is not only real, but also the current base of the Followers of the Apocalypse. And we'll check that out later.
If it can be bought, it can be found at Mick and Ralph's.
I wonder if we should go to Mick and Ralph's, guys. Over here we have the King's School of Impersonation. There is an entire gang of Elvis impersonators, and they're basically the law of the strip. But we've waited long enough. It's time to get some answers. Good one, Mick.
The Freeside, so here's a little advice, friend. Don't go past the Southgate greeter without talking to it first.
Why wouldn't I want to go past the greeter?
Those bots are programmed to vaporize anyone who enters the fenced-in area without authorization from the greeter.
Oh. Well, duly noted. Thanks for looking out. Who are you?
The name's Old Ben. I've been living in Freeside since the day I was born.
Old Ben Kenobi is what they called me. He has a whole big story.
Later.
But I'm an impatient gal. We gotta get moving forward. Oh, thanks for dropping by. It was great to hear from you. Have a lovely rest of your evening. All right, buddy.
Submit to a credit check or present your passport before proceeding to the gate. Trespassers will be shot.
One thing to note here. We haven't seen this model of Securitron anywhere except for Victor. But now we see 3 right on the strip, which is a little bit of a clue as to Victor's origins. But yeah, if you're wondering why I held on to all of my money and made it a pretty solid point to make as many caps as possible on the road to New Vegas, it's so you can pass this credit check. You don't need to give him the money. You just have to prove that you're not some poorie trying to enter the Vegas Strip. They want to see if you have gambling money first. Alternatively, if we have a high enough science, we can just tell him the password. If we have an high enough luck stat, we can guess the password. And if you have 1 intelligence, you can just tell him, ice cream. And that's the password, and it'll let you in. But we'll pass the credit check.
Thank you, madam. You may proceed.
Wait, did the guy run by us already? Oh yeah, those are his chunky body parts over here. If you walk too fast, you'll walk in with this scripted scene where an NPC tries to break the gate, and these guys have grenade launchers, so they will end your whole career if you are too close. But everybody, oh, we're gonna get content ID flagged. Oh no, oh no. Ah, there's no way to turn it off. I will figure that out later, but please, please, Mr. DMCA, pass by my channel.
Howdy, partner. You come for a piece, haven't you?
Victor.
Welcome to New Vegas.
What are you doing here?
Consider me your personal welcome wagon. Now hear this. The head honcho of New Vegas, Mr. House, is itching to make your acquaintance. Just head for the Lucky 38. It's the big old tower shaped like a roulette spinner.
And just like that, Victor gives up the game. He lived in Good Springs for 15 years. But he hired you for the courier job. He practically escorted you to make sure that nothing happened to you again after the point that you got shot in the head. If you get into any sort of trouble on the road, Victor will come in and save you. And he has a vested interest in getting you and your package to the Lucky 38 Hotel and Casino. He's a robot. He has a personality, but he is not sentient. He is having his strings pulled by the real man in charge. The real man who wanted you to deliver the platinum chip straight to his hands. And that guy is in the Lucky 38 Hotel and Casino. But we are going to ignore him for now because we are on a mission of vengeance. Tell Mr. House that I might stop by. We'll see.
Don't you dawdle, little doggy. Mr. House isn't someone you want to go about snubbing. He'll be waiting.
And if you remember from Camp Golf, you'll know that Mr. House was alive before the war. Is it the same guy? Is it his descendant? Who is the mysterious benefactor that's gotten you this far? And what does he want with you? Why do the doors of the Lucky 38, doors that, may I add, have never opened for anyone in the remembered history of New Vegas, why do they open for you, a no-name courier? Everything starts to come together at this point. The whys of the game. But for now, I will steal every magazine in all of these kiosks because they are incredibly helpful. Hey, buddy.
Hey, come on, lady. I'm trying to put on a show here.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Geez, some people.
Come on, tell some jokes. Tell some jokes, funny man.
It's hard to sleep in this place, I tell you. Last night, some girl was pounding on my door all night. Finally, I had to let her out. What?
Ayo.
I've been in love with the same woman for 17 years. If my wife ever finds out, she'll kill me. No!
She'll kill me, no!
Hey, how hard can it be? The water glows in the dark, and it burns. I told my wife, she's good looking for a ghoul. It's just too bad she's not a ghoul. Ay, ay, ay. I had dinner at the Ultra Lux the other night. I told them my steak tastes funny. They said it was a clown. I ate a person. I hear James Garrett drove 5,000 head of Brahmin to New Reno. No bodies, just the heads.
I love the exclamations he makes at the end of every joke.
I did it. So I hear Mr. House runs the strip. He took it over from the last guy, Mr. Mob-infested hellhole. Did he just say that? I love these robots with their friendly little policeman faces. Sure, they still rough you up, but they look so happy. I bought my wife a little car here in New Vegas, an Omerta. It has a hood under the hood. Ay, ay, ay.
Ay, ay, ay. We will talk to you later, Billy King. Keep shining on, you crazy diamond. Yeah, here we have the Ultra Lux. The Tops. Over there we have Gamora. The Lucky 38. And the radio station where Mr. New Vegas himself gives his broadcasts. Oh, and the Vault 21 Hotel. Further on down the way, while we are doing the grand tour of the Vegas Strip, we have Michelangelo's, the resident, I'd say, artiste du jour of New Vegas. He is probably the only man alive in the wasteland that knows how to make neon lights. So everything here is a Michelangelo original. And over here we have the NCR Embassy, with Ambassador Dennis Crocker presiding. But I'll stop playing tour guide. It's time to have a showdown with the man who tried to feed me a bullet sandwich. Time for payback.
Hey, baby doll. Welcome to the Tops Hotel and Casino. I'm gonna have to ask you to hand over any weapons you might be carrying.
Why do you need my guns?
Security, baby. Can't make the bread if the bakers are full of lead. You dig it? Don't worry, you're safe as houses in here. Courtesy of Mr. House.
Nice pun. Also, House runs the whole place. Sure, here you go. Keeps holdout weapons.
Smooth and easy, just the way I like it. Don't worry, they'll be as safe as kittens till you're ready to leave.
A note on holdout weapons: if your stealth stat is high enough, you can smuggle pistols and smaller weapons on your body into casinos.
You dig? Now that we got that little business out of the way, what can I do to make your Tops experience the tops?
What is there to do here?
Everything your little heart desires, that's what. You like gambling? Boom. Either one of the main hallways has cards, slots, you name it. Hungry? Thirsty? The restaurant just off the left-hand hallway has the best food and booze in Vegas. Or maybe you'd rather take in a show. The Aces Theater upstairs always has hot acts raring to go. Check it out.
Sounds like a pretty nice place to spend some time in the, post-nuclear times. Goodbye, sir.
Have a good time, baby.
Now, we're not here to talk to him. We are here to talk to the man to his left, Swank.
Hello, baby. Welcome to the Tops. What can I do for you?
I think you should know something about Benny.
Really? You got something to say about the big boss, huh? Well, why don't you say it to his face instead of yapping at me?
So, Benny is the leader of the chairman, actually, which places him as the top dog of the family that controls the Tops Hotel and Casino. And you'll find a similar structure in all of the other casinos. They're run almost more like a gang than they are a business. And there's a reason for that, too. But hey, I don't think you're gonna like it. Seems Benny's been making his own play.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Benny tried to kill me, and he stole a platinum chip I was hired to deliver.
That doesn't... Why would he pull a stunt like that? Got anything else to offer?
He tried to make it look like an accident. Just a traveler killed and robbed in the wasteland.
He's trying to pull a fast one on the big man. Crazy bastard. You got any more?
Oh yeah? I've got more evidence that proves Benny tried to kill me.
Yeah? What else you got?
Look, I found these cigarette butts by the grave he buried me in.
Huh. Well, yeah, okay. These are Benny's brand, and they ain't too common. Got anything else?
Found this lighter in Boulder City. He dropped it when he killed his partners.
Yeah, that looks like Benny's lighter, all right. Still, not exactly a ton of proof. Got anything else, kid?
That's it. What do you think?
Jesus, kid, I think we got a real problem on our hands. Can't believe Benny's a no-good stinking punk. trying to play house like that. Tell you what, I'll call Benny, keep him away from his suite. You go search the place. Here's the key, it's on the 13th floor. It's a room with the double doors. Can't miss it. Maybe you'll find something we can show to Mr. House and get him arrested.
Now, this option sounds tempting, but it actually does give Benny the amount of time he needs to get away. But no, we don't have time for that. We need to take him out. Now.
Take him out? Jesus. Okay, well, if you think that's the best way to deal with this, I'll send him up to his room. You can ambush him there. And don't worry about the rest of the chairman. I'll keep him from getting involved. You'll still have to watch out for Benny's guards, though.
Okay, I'll do it.
Here's your stuff back. In case Benny don't go quiet, you dig? I'll tell the boys to give you a pass to pack some heat. Go on then. Elevators are past the slot machines on your right. Hello?
Hello.
How's it hanging?
How's it hanging, buddy? How's it hanging?
Hey, baby, what's the haps?
Oh, not too much, Daddy-o. Catch you on the flip side. I have a murder to plan. Let's see. We have our that gun equipped. We're gonna go ahead and swing on down the blackjack tables. Also, all of these casino games are completely playable. If I wanted to sit down and play some slots... Oh, I need to get chips. I could play some slots. Act natural. Eddie, if he asks, I was never here. Wow, wonderful corner we have here. Nothing to see here. Whew, we did it. Absolute stealth geniuses. Let's help ourselves to Benny's suite. And we will simply wait to surprise him. Oh, well, Veronica, close the door behind you, please. We don't want to look like a sloppy revenge outfit here. We're professionals. Oh, Benny's here anyways. Hey, buddy.
What in the goddamn? You? How could you be?
Remember me?
Finky bastard. You got a crazy drop on me, baby, but you don't want to kill me. We should be working together.
Oh, really? Huh? Hand over the platinum chip. Maybe you live.
Can't do that, baby. The chip, it's special. But savor this, baby. I can comp you the presidential, best suite in the house. After what you've been through, you deserve a taste of the VIP lifestyle. Give me a moment or two to catch my breath and knock back a few cocktails, and I'll swing by for a meet and greet.
You think I can be bought like that, Benny?
Question answered. This can be the start of a beautiful friendship.
Oh, sure, and I'm sure you can sell ice to Eskimos too, huh? Hand over the chip, or else.
Or else what, punk? Or else this?
Ooh, your teeth. Or else this, buddy. From where you're standing, this may seem like an 8-carat run of bad luck. But kid, the game was rigged from the start. Oh, and Veronica for the back of the skull knockout. We did it. Let's see what we got here. Let's get speech to a solid 80. Bring barter up to 60. Yeah, Benny's just dead. He gave us the runaround for an awful long time, but he couldn't get us forever. Now, Benny has plenty of opportunities to actually get out of here alive, and you'll run into him later, but I don't like to give him that kind of runway. He's tricky to track down after round 2, too. And you can't advance in any of the quests without the platinum chip, so you need to grab it. Yeah, Veronica was ready to throw hands. 4 bullets to the front of the head and then a solid haymaker to the back. More than enough for the likes of Benny. And we can get a new perk. Let's see, Night Person, Nerd Range, Mysterious Stranger. Ooh, Finesse. With a Finesse perk, you have a higher chance to score a critical hit on an opponent in combat equivalent to 5 extra points of luck. It's one of the best perks you can take for a pistol critical build. So we're going to grab it right now. And we are going to grab everything off of Benny. His 9mm rounds, his suit, his key, his bullet casings, Maria, his unique 9mm pistol, the platinum chip, and the Topps Presidential Suite key. Thank you for cooperating. Ring-a-ding-ding, baby. But yeah, his unique pistol really is a sight. The engraving on the metal, it has murals of the Virgin Mary on the ivory handles. It's a fancy-ass pistol. It's also a 9mm pistol, which honestly doesn't have much stopping power, so I guess we were lucky that that was the pistol he decided to shoot us once in the head with.
Hey, there's the high roller.
Whew, now that we've accomplished some business, I guess we should take up Mr. House on that social call after all.
The eyes of the mighty Caesar are upon you. He admires your accomplishments and bestows upon you the exceptional gift of his mark. Any crimes you may have perpetrated against the Legion are hereby forgiven. Caesar will not extend this mercy a second time. My lord requires your presence at his camp at Fortification Hill. His mark will guarantee your safe conduct through our lands.
You again! Oh, it's Volpezin Kulta! I didn't recognize him without his furry hat. You again? How did you find me here?
I am the greatest of Caesar's Frumentari. It was not a challenge to find you. Nor is this my first visit to the Strip.
Why does Caesar, if that is his real name, want to see me?
Go to him, and you will understand.
Ah, the vague method of explaining.
By way of Cottonwood Cove, south of Nelson. The Cursor Lucullus will be waiting.
Catch you later. Don't talk to strangers. But yeah, as you can tell, you're beginning to make some waves on the Strip. People are starting to hear that the Lucky 38 is open for the first time. And if that is the heart of the Vegas Strip, that is the heart of the region.
Strip secure.
Mr. House is sitting right at the center of the political world of this map. And everyone who has plans for the region has to deal with him at some point. And he is incredibly well guarded. He has a practical army of Securitron robots, 4 pretty loyal gangs that work for him, and the Lucky 38 is a fortress. But you, Mr. Nobody, have the keys to the castle. So everyone is very interested in becoming your best friend. So even the Legion, even if I had killed Volpez and Colta and all of his men, even if I have completed every side quest at this point for the NCR against the Legion, killed them on sight, killed them to a man, when I walked into the strip and I got the platinum chip and I was invited into the Lucky 38, Caesar would have forgiven all of it. My karma would be completely reset with the Legion, and I would be able to instantly enter their good books. And that's how important access to the Lucky 38 is to people. But Victor, sad to say that Victor's role for the rest of the game is a glorified doorman. He lets you in and out of the Lucky 38, and the only thing really that remains of his personality is his general demeanor. It's very clear now that he was always just a robot being controlled.
Well, howdy, partner. Good to see you again. Boss is waiting for you upstairs, so get a move on.
Thank you, Victor.
I see you brought some friends. Sorry, partner, but they're gonna have to stay outside.
Wait. No problem. I'll head up myself.
Come back soon now.
Yeah, you can't even take any companions with you. They will automatically wait outside, thankfully, so you don't have to go hunting for them. But only the courier is allowed to go in and out of the Lucky 38. Oh, hello.
It's from Ambassador Crocker. Very important. Here you go.
But yeah, that's the NCR and the Legion coming to call. But I have other business. But yeah, here is the Lucky 38. Kind of spooky as far as casinos go, given that, you know, it's empty and silent. But there are a couple of things to snag while we're here. The golden boxing gloves, a unique pair of boxing gloves. We'll take that. Everything's free to take. Mr. House is pretty much comping you the whole suite for your own personal use, even though we haven't talked to him about it yet. But I will take every single Sunset Sarsaparilla you own. Thank you, sir. But yeah, there is a really great mod that I used to run in my own playthroughs that let you take control of the Lucky 38 and run it as your own hotel and casino. It basically kind of plays like a management sim. You can keep the casino stocked, use your caps to renovate the place, listen to people's feedback on what they want to see in the Lucky 38, and really make it your own. And it's a really fun way to play a sort of like Vegas-aligned courier. But I'm probably not going to do that on stream because I feel like it would take too much attention away from the story and the writing of the game, where I really want to focus on. Hey, Victor.
Where to, partner?
But yeah, you're wondering how Victor can be outside and here at the same time? Well, they're just changing Victor's program from Securitron to Securitron. So he's just bouncing into the robot that's over here already. But we will go to the penthouse.
Penthouse floor.
Hello.
Well, hello, sugar. Mr. House is waiting for you in his office.
Lady Robot. Pleasure to meet you. What's with this snow globe collection that I totally saw, apparently?
Not many people know this, but Mr. House is one of the world's biggest collectors of antique snow globes.
Tell me
If
more.
you happen to find any out in the wasteland, you can bring them to me, and I'll add them to his collection. You'll get a reward, of course. In fact, one of Mr. House's favorites went missing when we moved the collection. If you have a look around the Lucky 38, you might even find it.
It is very valuable to find Mr. House his snow globes because he's willing to pay top dollar for them. In fact, we have a snow globe from our grave in Good Springs right now.
You do? Why, that's
2,000 bottle caps per snow globe. It is the deal of the century. So what kind of robots are you?
Why, I'm a Robco PDQ-88B Mark I Securitron, you silly goose. We're the finest in personal civil robotic security on the market.
So what can you tell me about New Vegas?
Oh, there's lots of things to tell, I'm sure. There's the 3 families, the casinos, the other attractions. What would you like to know?
The 3 families, huh? Let's hear a little bit more about that.
They're just new money, sugar. They might pretend they're sophisticated, but between you and me, they're not far off from tribals. Emeritus especially are just awful brutes. The chairman and the White Glove Society at least pretend to have some culture.
Very interesting. You'll note that she remarked that they are more like tribals, and that used to be the case. You see, the 3 families of New Vegas weren't born as like Frank Sinatra's or mafiosos. They were basically tribes of folks that Mr. House brought into the fold, told them, hey, you can live here so long as you dress like this and act like this and fulfill this very old Vegas pastiche, and you're on the board. So whatever history they used to have as tribes is actively being suppressed, and a lot of folks have very mixed feelings about that, and we'll see that later on in the quests. Well, tell me about the casinos.
Well, of course, there used to be a lot more of them, but these days there are 3 open to the public: the Tops, the Ultra Lukes, and Gamora. And the Lucky 38,
Ultra Lukes?
But we're not open to the public. You're a special case, sugar.
Tell me about the other attractions.
Well, let's see. The NCR has an embassy here, but why you'd want to go talk to a bunch of boring old politicians, I surely don't know. Oh, and the Vault 21 Hotel and Gift Shop has an adorable collection of old Vault-Tec memorabilia. And I suppose if you like neon signs, you might check out Michelangelo's sign shop.
Let's talk about something else.
Anything you like, sugar.
Can you tell me about Mr. House?
Why, sugar, he's the maximum utmost. If it weren't for Mr. House, we wouldn't have this fabulous wonderland of New Vegas, would we?
Gotta love that sycophantic point of view. Sounds like you're pretty fond of him.
Well, of course I am, silly. Mr. House is just the smartest, most wonderful man there ever was.
Kindest, most handsome, most pretty.
He reclaimed New Vegas from all those nasty tribes that used to live here? Well, he single-handedly sent in his Securitrons to do it, but that counts in my book.
So at some point, you know, the tribes of Vegas actually ran the show here. Mr. House appeared on the scene in force with an army of robots and took control. He didn't always have it.
Anything you like, sugar?
Yeah, goodbye. And down. We're gonna pay attention to the man behind the curtain. We're going to walk out and meet the mysterious, the enigmatic Mr. Robert House. And there he is! He is a face on a computer screen. Yellow.
You've been a busy courier, haven't you? You take your obligation to deliver a package very seriously, an ethic for which I am grateful. I will admit, when you ignored my invitation, I predicted negative outcomes. But you have a way of exceeding expectations, don't you? Well, enough. Let's have the chip then.
One thing before we continue, Mr. House is voiced incredibly by the incomparable Rene Auberjonois, who unfortunately passed away earlier last year. Once in a generation talent, he will be missed. But not so up, not so fast, Mr. House. We need to discuss payment.
Fine. Give me the chip and I'll pay you 4 times the delivery bonus stipulated in your contract. How's that?
I'm almost depressed that we do have enough barter to pass this skill check, because the failed skill check line for this one is, you're gonna have to raise the price or we're chip out of luck. And Mr. House does not like the attempt at humor. But anywho, it's a great start, but well below market price. I mean, I do have to pay for that surgery, you know, the whole bullet in the head thing.
Very well. 5 times your delivery bonus. Not 1 cap more.
Pretty tidy. 1,250 caps it is. You paid me more for a snow globe, buddy.
Such a small thing, isn't it? And yet so capacious. So very dear. Decades of hiring salvagers out west to search for this little relic in the ruins of a place called Sunnyvale. Back then, anyway. That's where the chip was printed. On October 22nd, 2077. It was to have been hand-delivered to me here at the Lucky 38 the next day. But the bombs fell first. Suffice it to say, the delivery was never made.
So that's what the chip was about. He needed it here the day the bombs dropped. And we're going to learn exactly why. So what does the chip do exactly?
Some things are more easily shown than told. Take the elevator all the way down to the bottom level, and you'll see what I mean. Don't worry, you'll like what you see. We have much to accomplish, you and I.
Nope.
Step closer to the demonstration area, if you would.
We're just gonna help ourselves to some equipment here.
The titanium alloy housing that protects its electronic core deflects small arms that travel easily enough. Its X-25 Gatling laser, produced to spec by Glassinghouse Inc., is deadly against soft targets at medium range. And for close-range suppression or crowd control, the Securitron is armed with a 9mm submachine gun. All of this you probably already knew. What you did not know is that these are the Securitron's secondary weapons. All this time, my Securitrons have had to get by running the Mark I operating system, which lacked software drivers for their primary weapons. Today, with the delivery of the Platinum chip, all that changes. Behold, for the first time, Securitrons running the Mark II OS. The M235 missile launcher gives the Securitron the ability to engage ground and air targets at significantly longer ranges. And a rapid-fire G-28 grenade launcher ensures the Securitron is deadly in close-range engagements. The software upgrade also includes drivers for the Securitron's highly sophisticated on-board auto-repair systems. Altogether, the Mark II software upgrade confers a 235% increase in combat effectiveness per unit. The city of New Vegas finally has soldiers worthy of protecting it. Return to the penthouse now. We have much to discuss.
And that's the whole game. The Platinum chip was a computer chip.
Trips to the basement are rarely so educational, don't you think? I've since broadcast the upgrade to every Securitron in range of my transmitters, and I must say, it's causing quite a stir down on the strip.
You have gone ahead and given Mr. House just an incredible upgrade to his grip on the region, now that he has his completely armored Securitron robots. Yeah, he basically is in an unassailable position. He's in an indestructible fortress surrounded by weapons and robotic soldiers that put any other faction on the map to shame. which makes it even more important for all of the other factions in the game to get you working for them. Because you can do what they can't. You can walk into the Lucky 38, and you can take Mr. House out completely. And after you turn in the Platinum Chip, that goes from being nice to being literally necessary. But why show your hand like that? Now your enemies know what you're up to.
I'm surprised you can still underestimate me after everything you've seen. I haven't shown my hand. I've shown one card. I've given my enemies a single provocative datum upon which to fixate. They have no idea what other cards I'm holding. It's a strong hand, believe me. I dealt it to myself.
So you think your Securitrons defeat Caesar's Legion and the NCR?
Why would I want to go to war against the NCR? They're my best customers. If their leaders weren't scheming to steal Vegas out from under me, I'd have no troubles with the NCR at all. To secure the future of New Vegas, I must have your assistance. The work ahead is dangerous, but you weather danger well.
That's sort of the game of the region. The NCR wants nothing short of annexation. And Mr. House doesn't want to play ball with that, understandably so. I mean, at the same time, Mr. House did take control of the region himself. We'll see why he thinks he has a mandate to lead, but I'm listening.
The next step will require you to infiltrate Caesar's camp at Fortification Hill.
You want me to kill Caesar? Yeah, NCR really is the America of old, for better and for worse. Indeed, that's part of the reason why the NCR has so many of the weaknesses that it does. Mr. House actually talks about that pretty well later on. I think for the rest of the stream, I'm just going to completely devote it to just talking to Mr. House. Because he really kind of gets at a lot of the larger themes of the game and really sets the stage for what Act 2 and Act 3 of the story are going to be. What kind of faction should rule Vegas? Who has the right to rule? And what are the problems with each? And while I think that he's a very insightful person, I will say he's also an incredibly biased person, so don't take his words as gospel, but rather as information. But you want me to kill Caesar?
Absolutely not. Caesar is of great use to me. I don't want you harming a hair on that man's head, assuming you could find one.
Got him. So what do you want me to do at Fortification Hill, then?
I want you to open a hatch in the basement of the derelict weather station atop Fortification Hill. You'll recognize it on sight. The hatch bears the logo of the Lucky 38, same as the Platinum Chip.
What's inside of the hatch?
Something very important. I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise, so don't bother asking.
Wheels within wheels. How do I open it?
You can't, but the chip can. The hatch will recognize the Platinum Chip and open sesame.
So, why should I be working for you? Give me your sales pitch, buddy.
I'm not offering you an incentive as crude as money, though there'll be plenty of that. What I'm offering you is a ground floor opportunity in the most important enterprise on Earth. What I'm offering is a future. For you, and for what remains of the human race.
Some questions I want to ask.
What did you want to discuss?
I'm surprised you haven't asked what became of Benny.
That's because he ceased to be relevant when you recovered the Platinum Chip. Revenge doesn't interest me. Progress does. Sorry to deny you a moment of primate triumph, but you'll have to go elsewhere to sound your barbaric yawp.
Oh, but I wanted to sound my yawp so bad. So, how will the NCR defend Hoover Dam?
General Oliver's strategy or tunnel vision, as I like to call it, has been to mass troops at Hoover Dam. He wants to outfight the Legion in a straightforward slugging match, and then, when they rout, pursue and destroy them in detail. A crushing, decisive victory of this sort would overshadow the tactical ingenuity of Chief Hanlon's defense 4 years ago, you see.
Interesting. So, the short-sightedness of this plan that Mr. House points out is the NCR hasn't been doing much of anything anywhere but Hoover Dam. And the Legion is not wasting time. The Legion has taken out the towns of Nipton. They've taken out the town of Nelson, which we haven't been to, but can go later. They're sort of taking pieces off the board elsewhere in the Mojave. And what the NCR is going to run into really quickly, and they're running into it now because of the holdup at the Mojave Outpost, back with the Ranger statues over in one of the earlier streams. They don't have supply lines. Every caravan in and out of Vegas is cut. The NCR has no way to supply the region. They have to rely on local supplies, and everywhere on the map, the Legion is taking those away. So it's a really short-sighted strategy, and they really need to win now, or they're going to be bled out. And that's exactly it, Eric. They think that winning, or at the very least General Oliver seems to think that winning is going to be done in a decisive battle. And it will, but he's not doing anything to shore that up. And that's what the rest of the game is really about. Picking a side, feeling them out, seeing which really should rule, and then doing that work for them. Shoring up your right to rule and your ability to rule the region. Dealing with any conflict that might arise. Making sure your faction has supply lines, troops, resources. Making sure that you can win the Battle of Hoover Dam at the end. And every faction addresses that problem differently. But if you pick the wildcard option, which I very well might, that all falls to you. The wildcard ending can be the best or the worst ending in the game, depending on how carefully you completed the rest of the game. But I won't talk your guys' ear off. Let's hear more from Mr. House.
A good deal should be obvious to you by now. I won't spoil the rest by talking out of turn.
Well, let's talk about something else then. What are your plans for New Vegas?
I've resurrected Vegas, spirit intact. What I need now is the ability to enforce my rightful claim. Not just against Caesar's Legion, by the way. In fact, the NCR is a more present and insidious threat.
How do you intend to enforce your claim on the city?
To enforce, one must have force, a position of strength. Years ago, when I detected NCR scouts roaming the Mojave, I could tell from their uniforms that these were no mere tribesmen. I knew it was only a matter of time before an army appeared to take control of the dam, and I knew my Securitrons wouldn't be enough to oppose them. And so I recruited the 3 families. Vegas belongs to me because I mustered enough strength to bring the NCR to the bargaining table.
Mm-hmm. And that's how he did it. Wasn't the NCR's army big enough to defeat your Securitrons and the 3 families?
Indeed it was, and still is, but not without taking significant casualties. Would Kimball and Oliver have traded the lives of hundreds of soldiers for absolute control of Hoover Dam? Oh, yes. They weren't afraid of me. They were afraid of Caesar, that attacking me would leave them vulnerable to a Legion offensive. And so they negotiated, not out of the kindness of their hearts, as they try to make it seem, because the calculus of power left no other choice.
Mm-hmm. Mr. House remains the spoiler for every faction. the NCR and the Caesar's Legion would have gone to war already if it wasn't for Mr. House sitting in the middle, ready to strike whoever opens up. So all they can do is wait at this point until anything changes. What were the terms of your treaty with the NCR?
NCR forces were permitted to occupy Hoover Dam and establish a military base at McCarran Airport. Well, it used to be one. They recognized my sovereignty over the Vegas Strip and agreed to supply electricity and water once their engineers repaired the dam. Written into the treaty were provisions that the NCR do nothing to prevent its soldiers and civilians from visiting the Strip. That's how I harnessed the NCR to my endeavor. Their occupation has been the engine of my growing economy.
Yeah, Mr. House's whole game. Andrew Ryan, but spookier. I get those vibes, but the brilliant thing that Mr. House has done is he waited and waited and waited for a society to come along that had citizens that could participate in leisure activities. Vegas is useless to a society of agrarian farmers. They don't have the concept of money. They don't have the concept of luxury. Spending money to gamble or to dine at a fancy restaurant just isn't compatible. What Mr. House is selling isn't something that anyone else is buying, but the NCR comes along and they are rebuilt enough. They are a society that could make use of Vegas. And so Mr. House cleaned up the Vegas Strip, took control of the three families, dressed them up in pastiches of casinos past, and opened for business. But you would go to war against the NCR?
The salient issue is that they will go to war with me if given the chance. There's just one reason why the NCR hasn't contrived some outrage to justify invading the Strip. Caesar's Legion. The final battle between those two armies is fast approaching. I can't afford to let either side win on their terms. What else did you want to discuss?
What was Vegas like before the war?
It was a place of splendor. As magnificent as today's Strip may seem, it's but a shadow of the neon paradise that was Las Vegas. I grew up not far from here, and though I traveled the old world extensively, I never found another place like it.
You say that you saved Las Vegas. How?
By 2065, I deemed it a mathematical certainty that an atomic war would devastate the Earth within 15 years. Every projection I ran confirmed it. I knew I couldn't save the world, nor did I care to, but I could save Vegas, and in the process, perhaps save mankind. I set to work immediately. I thought I had plenty of time to prepare. As it turned out, I was 20 hours short.
To do all that and to miss calculating the exact date by a hair turned out to be almost the whole ball game. It's a miracle he survived it all, but we'll talk about that later. What preparations did you make to save Las Vegas?
On the day of the Great War, 77 atomic warheads targeted Las Vegas and its surrounding areas. My networked mainframes were able to predict and force transmit disarm code subsets to 59 warheads, neutralizing them before impact. Laser cannons mounted on the roof of the Lucky 38 destroyed another 9 warheads. The rest got through, though none hit the city itself. A suboptimal performance, admittedly. If only the platinum chip had arrived a day sooner.
Why didn't the platinum chip arrive on time?
The platinum chip was printed in Sunnyvale, California on October 22nd, 2077, the day before the Great War. It was to have been delivered by courier the following afternoon, but by then, the world had ended. The chip contained vital software upgrades, but not just for my Securitrons. Every aspect of the missile defense grid would have been upgraded too. Given that I had to make do with buggy software, the outcome could have been worse. I nearly died as it was.
Interesting. He nearly died, but he survived. That implies that he's a little bit more than a man behind a computer screen. But he could also be lying. We don't know yet. I do, of course, but, you know, I won't spoil. How did you nearly die defending Vegas?
Software glitches set off a cascade of system crashes. I had to take the Lucky 38's reactor offline, lest it melt down. For nearly 5 years, I battled power outages and more system crashes until I finally managed to reboot my data core with an older...
Oh, sorry. Dang pop-up window. Okay. Back to it.
I spent the next few decades in a veritable coma, but I survived, obviously, and eventually thrived.
Let's talk about something else.
What else did you want to discuss?
Where does New Vegas get all its electricity? I mean, we know the answer. It's Hoover Dam, but let's hear him say it.
Hoover Dam, of course. A hydroelectric dam. The NCR had it up and running at 50% capacity within a year of occupying the dam. By treaty, New Vegas receives 5% of its output. More than enough. What else did you want to discuss?
You know, that's also the reason that the Mojave itself is a linchpin. Why everyone wants it. It is so blessedly rare to have clean water and electricity in the post-apocalypse, and Hoover Dam has enough to power a whole region. You could power a whole country off of Hoover Dam, and that's why a lot of people want it. So let's level with me, Mr. House. What's the deal with the snow globe collection?
What of it? I enjoy them. There's something about a little diorama set inside a glass dome that I find pleasing. If you run across any out in the wastes, turn them in to Jane. She'll compensate you. What else did you want to discuss? Goodbye.
I think that's it. And we'll level up. Let's round the corner up to 85 speech. Put the rest into barter. We're not going to get a perk, but that's okay. And there you have it. Answers to every question that the game sort of posits up until this point. Why the platinum chip matters, why people want it, and ultimately what the situation of the game is, what the calculus of power is, and how you can step in and affect that. And I know, right, Eric? This man is willing to pay more for a plastic diorama than he was for the chip that would have single-handedly ensured that Nevada would have been hit by 0 nuclear warheads. And the chip that gives him incredible military power and killer robots. But, you know, economies, am I right? Anywho, I think that's it for now. But next time, we've done a lot of plot-heavy stuff in New Vegas. I think we should take a load off. We should, you know, hit some casinos, do some side quests. I hear that there's a talent scouter in the Tops, and he's paying top dollar to find new acts for the Aces Theater. And I think we met a couple of people on our journey that might be interested in such a casting call. And for now, I'm going to save. And we're going to call it a day for New Vegas. See you later, Mr. House. Thank you all so much for joining me today. We got to some pretty plot critical stuff. I've been excited to get to this point of the game ever since I started, really. I feel like once you talk to Mr. House and once you get the Lucky 38, you see how the whole game comes together around that. It starts to take shape. And from here on, we'll really get to thinking not only how the stories that we interact with matter in a micro sense, but also in a macro sense. And every other quest ties into this core question of how Vegas is going to be run. But until that time, this has been Courier 8. Thank you so much for coming out and spending some time with me. I'm glad that you were able to join us, Mick. It was really good to have you in chat. Oh, I miss the Lucky 13 too. For those who don't know, the Lucky 13's a dive bar in Alameda that Jackie and her coworkers used to hang out at after work a lot of the time. And, well, none of us are going to work and none of us are going to bars and haven't been for the past 9 months, but one day soon. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. As always, you can expect me back here every Wednesday night for more Fallout New Vegas, and I'm going to keep this going until we cross the finish line. And I want to do everything, so strap in. This is going to be a long series from here, and I hope a good one, and I hope you all enjoy. I am also thinking about doing some more lunchtime streams. Those lunchtime streams will be Dark Souls 3. And we'll be continuing on the playthrough that I started last week. So if you want to catch up for that, you can watch the VOD on my channel and also on my YouTube channel, which you can find on my Twitch profile. And I think that's quite enough shameless advertisement for myself. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight, and I'll see you on the flip side. Take care.